What's up, guys? Welcome to another TCG Scrubs podcast. I think I lost track. Episode 104, I think.
69.
That was over a year ago, man.
That was almost exactly a year ago because it was right after the whole thing with Force Will happened. We did 69 because that's when we brought J Ruler on back for a minute and he asked his thoughts about the whole thing that happened. So it's been almost exactly a year since episode 69.
And that was before Argent Saga came out. We're like, yeah, check it out when it comes out.
Yeah.
Which that seems to be struggling. But anyways, welcome back, everybody. And, as usual, if you want to help support the things we do here, visit our Patreon at patreon.com/TCG Scrubs. Do a Patreon podcast that we do right after we've done filming this. We'll release that when this releases on Tuesday. Again, new week or new schedule. We're going back to the original. And then over at Happy Little Hook Factory, you'll find a link in the description below. We've been doing spoiler videos once per week. You want to check those out too. Again, if you're interested in pre-ordering a new set, you can visit that link, which will help support everything that we do here when you purchase through it. And the new Star Deck too. Anything else, Colin?
Yeah, that sounds about right. That sounds good to me.
I feel like it's been a while since I've done that just because we skipped Sunday.
Yeah.
Which was an accident. Some things came up and we didn't realize.
It was
Sunday.
It was Super Bowl Sunday, so we were like,
yeah, we were watching the Super Bowl.
Or at least I was definitely not that interested in doing it.
I wasn't watching either. But yeah, so I guess let's jump to which topic first. Actually, you know what? I'm gonna briefly mention Legends of Runeterra for a second. It's not a talking point of ours tonight, only because we haven't had a chance to really dive into it as we had been wanting to, as we hyped it up, I think, in past videos. A lot's been going on. We've all been busy. I have school that just started as soon as it released, and so my time's super limited. Like, there's videos that can't even come out in because of schoolwork. But you guys have played a few games. You're enjoying it so far. Have you gotten y'all's decks yet that you want to have in that game?
No,
I don't.
I think I need 3 more champions. I don't know if I'm gonna do the Callista, which is what I had before, or if I'm gonna, I don't know, craft like Fioras or something. But I pretty much have a lot of the deck put together. I guess I'm kind of just testing and putting stuff together, like putting the last few bits together. It's basically like a Lucian Senna deck with sacrifice shenanigans, so I can sacrifice Senna or sacrifice Lucian and like buff, the other one. And so I think that's like pretty decent. Or I can play Lucian and then like slowly kill off 4 things, and then it's like, okay, he's alive. He's on, he's alive now. But I haven't like actually taken it a whole lot of places, so
yeah, I've gotten the base of my deck, like the idea of it going, and I just haven't been able to do as much testing as I wanted to, because I was hoping to just go test. All right, let me do my deck profile and everything for it. But I've only played a couple games with these guys, and I know what I want to change with it, but I just haven't had a chance to do it. But I'm hoping the deck is basically there. I just got to switch out probably a good, I'd say 10 cards or so. And I have an idea of what I want to switch to, and then I'll hopefully, ideally, this week I'll have that deck profile up for that. I'm pretty excited for it.
Yeah, Colin's playing Teemo, which sucks. So.
Jeez, I was purposely not saying what it was, because I was like, I want to, we'll just keep it under wraps.
Well, Oscar, just like bleep that part out.
No,
I'm gonna talk about it again for a second. So we played the other day, I think when everybody got off or something like that. He got 64 puff, or what are they called, puff caps, whatever, into my deck, which had 36 cards left in it. And which is a 40 card deck. Maybe it was less than that. I think it was like 26. I forget.
I think I capped out at 72. I think was the high, 72 or 74.
Oh, I stopped counting at 16 number.
Okay, I think 74 was the highest it got in there. But for some reason, you didn't really draw any big hitters. So I was getting pretty mad.
I think like 5 or 7 was like the worst one.
When I've played against other people, like randos online, I think, no, you didn't hit 6. The highest I hit with you, Oscar, I think was 4. Randos online, I hit 6 and 7. I think is the highest I hit.
mean, I think to be fair, I think it's really like iffy and like on like how the technical math works. Because like if you have 30 cards in your deck and you have 60 mushrooms in there, then it's like you should really only be drawing 2 on like. If you have 90 per 30, then you should only be drawing 3 on
Yeah, but
like,
the puff cap math
the
is each individual puff cap. So technically, there's a statistical possibility that you have 30 cards in your deck and you have 90 puff caps, and all 90 could go on one card. Technically.
Yeah.
It's like, saying, like weird how it works.
Like the more like it's so like getting like 3 and 4 is like probably more average and more expected than getting like big 6 or 7s. But it just kind of depends on.
If you guys are playing Runeterra, let us know what decks you guys are going. Like I said, we'll have more content hopefully for that here coming up. And I'm going to try and get a bunch of stuff done before and scheduled out before Vegas, so I don't have to worry about anything that week or the following week too much, because I'll probably be dead for a bit. But
which reminder, they're attending the GP in Vegas, which is at the Level Up Expo. Both these two guys.
I keep forgetting Joey's going.
Oh yeah, no, it's actually crazy.
It's
Oscar pointed out.
Going also.
This is a really good idea. The voice actress who's done almost every incarnation of Major Motoko in Ghost in the Shell. She's done the second movie, Standalone Complex. I don't know if she's doing it for the new Netflix show or not, but she did the original Standalone Complexes as well as Arise. She's going to be there. So good idea, if you guys are able to, is to bring those, Oscar said, bring those Ghost in the Shell promo cards Force Will has and have her sign them. That would be super cool. And then if you're like super legit, one day getting the artist to sign it as well. But
I think
I'm super excited.
A good thing to point out, though, if anybody's ever been to a convention, is you might have to buy a pass in order to go see her to get it signed.
I looked up; it's really cheap. The signature, so they haven't released schedules for when signing autographs will happen for the voice actors and stuff, but they range anywhere from like $10 to $25 for the most part for autographs. So it's super cheap, and you can even do stuff like record voice recording, so you can have her like say some a voicemail for you on your phone or something like that, like. In Motoko's voice,
he was really excited when he found that out. Like,
really excited. I'm gonna see if I can do that.
So again, it's February 22nd. I have the whole GP thing up here because we're gonna talk about that later on. But February 22nd, which should be a fun time. I know Joey will be playing. Joey,
I'll be
playing.
I don't know if I'm excited
again
to play.
His big capacity.
It's gonna be so hard to like actually get back into the physical part of the card game after not playing for so long, and like actually like. I don't know, it's gonna be interesting.
Do you think you're gonna like 1-2 drop or something?
I'll probably like play 3 games probably and then drop, especially because my go-to plan right now is to play Fuji, and like that's a terrible idea, so it's almost probably going to be like a 1-2 drop kind of deal.
But then people get to see you guys. Oh, and they're on the shelf behind me. I'm not going to go grab them. But we have leftover poker chips that we used to give out as patron rewards. And whenever we went to GPs in the past, we'd hand them out. And I was like, what better place to hand them out than when you're in Vegas? So Colin will have those with him. Hopefully you just get rid of all of them. Everybody just come up and take some from him. And there's no red ones left. So it's like all the other colors. It's all the other attributes.
Yeah, you use them as energized coins in case you guys are wondering. But
yeah.
They're all single color, so they won't be as applicable for the new rulers, but for the previous rulers, they're perfect.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So, moving from that, I was gonna ask you guys' opinions on everything that we've seen from spoilers so far. We're always like just posting the images in the chat and kind of just discussing back and forth. So to get your opinion on it, like, are strangers finally becoming like, oh, they're gonna take over now, like where Divinity was?
They were already kind of close, I feel like, in a sense of like, as far as having just one set out and that set being as small as it was, they were already like, I feel like out of the gate doing a lot better than other sets have done with their first set coming out type of deal. I think they will, just by nature, not even because of the strangers, but everything surrounding them that requires the ruler or some other things that don't grab the divinity. So just by a byproduct, but them printing stuff that specifically counters runes is why they'll just go by default. It's not because, oh, the strangers got to here and that's where the runes are. It's like strangers got to like here, and they printed a card that said, and also you win if you play a rune deck. It's like, well, I guess that technically counts as now strangers are overtaking them, but so I think yeah, with this set, whether they won't completely take over, they'll still be rune decks, but I think we'll definitely see a much bigger presence of strangers.
Yeah, I think it also depends on, like, you can't just, if you just boil all the strangers into one, or like group them all into one group, then maybe they're not there yet, but like there's definitely, I think Prisha's Stranger deck and I feel like Valentina's Stranger deck are both going to be like really, really strong, and I definitely think they're going to be able to go toe to toe with like, you know, other popular top decks. So especially Prisha, I'm like very scared of what she's going to be able to like, you know, bring out. Is, you know, seeing some of the like Force Sacred Beast support and like the friendship counters and like how absolutely enormous your resonators can get.
Like, not to mention like that new God Beast that we saw, 2 costs,
exactly
5/5. And which I didn't even realize her Regalia does Beast and the Force Sacred Beast, so that thing is even coming in buffed off those friendship counters.
No, I think her friendship counters are going to be like kind of insane. Personally, I think especially once you get up to maybe like if you like 5 or 6, you know, it's like that's going to be pretty insane.
It's interesting that it's like not ramping. It's really giving her those counters. A lot of the cards just adding one here and one there. And there's nothing really. Is there even anything requiring you to utilize them like the way Keurig did? Like where it's like I'm going to use 3 counters.
I think it's just stocking them up.
It's like a balance thing. It's pretty interesting.
Yeah, they aren't like you aren't spending them at all. Yeah. You're just making friends and getting friendly. Yeah. But you know, I think Valentina could be strong. I don't, you know, I think her Regalia and it being quick cast and like being able to like bounce stuff, I think has a lot of potential. So I'm like gonna be really interested to see how that deck like pans out. But I definitely think Prisha scares me. And yeah, so I definitely think those 2 decks are gonna be.
Joey's getting like war flashbacks of previous Prisha rulers we've had.
Yeah, I mean, I never really played while Prisha was a problem. So
yeah.
So I never like got to experience all that nonsense. But yeah,
it's interesting overall. Yeah.
I mean, as far as like the whole set, I feel it's definitely been a lot of cool cards, at least. Like, I think Prisha's cards are cool, you know.
Yeah, I was surprised to see Faria support in the form of 1 card so far. Like, directly supporting her. Not like, oh, it's a blue card that could work with her, or a white card that could work with her. It's like, blue-white, it's meant for her.
Yeah. Machines seem interesting. They're definitely, like, more of a token-generating machine deck now.
Do you think that makes sense flavor-wise, to just be token generators?
It depends what's generating the tokens. Like, it makes sense that Machina the Ruler can generate tokens because he's creating machines and stuff like that. I'd have to double check what the other machines were, because if they're just like random machines that are generating tokens and flavor-wise, I don't think that makes sense. But
I feel like he's making all the machines anyways, so it's like even though like his Regalia makes, you know, the token machines, I feel like even those, you know, small.
I'm thinking of the resonator, the 1-drop resonator that makes another machine resonator.
Right. My point is that in lore wise, I feel like Machina made that machine too. So it's like, who else is making machines? So I feel like he makes all the machines.
Well, no, like okay.
I
feel like this is a rabbit hole I should avoid.
No. Yeah, I get where Colin's coming from. Like, I understand that, but I don't think Joey crafted. I just want to see what, you know, else is. I used to track everything, but that's when I had free time. Like, whenever the cards would come out, like, oh, that's how many SRs we should have. Here's how many of the Rs we should have, and here's how many we've seen. So I have no idea if there's even anything left to even see after today, or if it's going to be like, here's a lot of the rest of the normals, and here's the reprints you're going to see in the memorial cards, right? So I have no idea what's even coming up. Like, every day is like really a mystery. So. Which is unfortunate. I'm really curious to see. Cause I don't know. I'm just not impressed with Machina at all. Really. It's come out with like the starter deck rulers really seem like they have some fuel for them, especially Prisya, and to see, you know, what they can do. It's kind of random.
Did we know what the God Beast's name was at all?
Oh yeah, that came out today. That is Huang Long.
Oh, so it is Huang Long. Awesome. Yeah. Oh, I was like, wait a minute. He's like divine and a beast. Is he the Huang Long? Wing Long is how I always called him.
Yeah, it's whichever.
Lame. But okay. Yeah. Well, because you were kind of talking about like whether or not we had more stuff, and that got me thinking like, wait, are we going to get Huang Long because we haven't got that like big four sacred beast like bomb, but that was basically him. It's like one sacred beast, which is kind of lame. But anyways, yeah, I didn't realize that was him.
Yeah, it is.
We haven't seen the regalia yet for Machina, right?
No, we haven't. They're really hold on. I wonder what that is.
It's the Maribel Type 0, I'm pretty sure, right? It's going to be a regalia that turns into a resonator.
We just saw more support that came out that's working with that. So it's like, what is that? Why are they waiting so long to show us that?
Watch it be like just a vanilla card, and that's why everything's buffing it, because it's just a vanilla regalia that you pay like 16 to become a resonator. That's vanilla also or something. I don't know.
I was just more thinking like it might be like a free cost card or something like that.
I don't know. We'll see.
It's probably some like it's like young Maribel or something. She's super cute.
No, it's gonna be like
it's gonna be like
it's gonna be. It's gonna be like, oh, you need all 4 versions of this. It's not gonna have mythic, so you can enter the field and like construct into her or something like that. And that's why I have so much support of like,
Oscar just wants Exodia. Yeah.
What's wrong with that?
Well, yeah, but I'm not trying to get into like some crazy god thing.
I didn't say there's anything wrong with it.
I think like some kind of combining machine would actually be super cool.
Yeah, like what Transformers has done with their card game.
I think more to be more on it, like because that sounds like I guess I described whatever that was from what Yu-Gi-Oh, right? More of like a pitch 3 versions of it, put this one version into play, and that's how it comes into play or something like that. That's why there's so many search cards as well as thinking.
Yeah.
I mean, if that's all you got on that, I'm gonna go ahead and move on to the bigger topic, which I think
because there's a chance that we're like speculating, and then it's spoiled before this podcast comes out.
Oh
so
yeah.
That's why I was like, how much do we want to speculate about this? Because this happened like 6 times to us. We're like, oh no, and then like an hour after we stop recording, it's like, oh, by the way, here's this thing.
Guys, we're recording this Sunday night, okay? So if y'all see anything out there and you're like, you guys are dumb, it's like, oh, this is too early.
But I didn't know I have too many other thoughts about this set.
I'm gonna move on to the next bit, which Colin claims we'll probably talk about for the rest of the time. We'll see.
I said there's a chance we could. Jeez.
Which in any other situation, when he says there's a chance to, he's like, oh, it usually means it's actually going to happen, but not right now. GP dates were announced, which I thought was cool. It was announced on a Friday.
Yeah.
Everything. I don't know if this is everything for the rest of the year, but it's definitely quite a few for the rest of the year. I'm just going to read off the dates real quick. So we obviously have the one in Vegas in February, and then we have come back over here. So Minnesota, which is obviously going to be run by Games and Geek, I assume.
Yeah.
Which is going to be on May 2nd and 3rd.
I think
this one,
the full details on those invites we got. Let me pull that up while you talk.
Yeah. So this one here is an entry of $60 US, but the reason is because there's cash prizing on this event. So first place can walk away with 1,000, and then it goes second for 500, third for 350, fourth for 350, and then fifth through eighth 175. Now I assume that's kind of based on attendance, which I was calculating that out, which I think they just need to hit 40, and if they hit more than that, I'm sure pricing would probably go up from there. The cool part about this is GP Vegas.
The cool part.
Well, okay. There's a cool part, and I'm about to take a step back and mention it's not cool.
Yeah, we should go instead of summarizing the whole thing. We should go piece by piece through all this info. So
should we just finish reading this? There's
back. So you had the dates and locations. I just read
the first date and location. Yeah, okay. I guess I'll just keep going. We have Collinsville, June 27th, 28th. We have Dallas, which is on June 18th. I will be there. I know Colin will be there probably.
Yeah.
And then we have Toronto on August 22nd. And then lastly is Montreal on June 27th. I don't know if this is all the dates we'll get Like this is it. Like I thought we were gonna get a really big GP here, right? And that's what the hype
Yeah,
is.
I'm sure there'll be more because the both directly and indirectly the impression I got was that this was going to be one of the biggest location-wise biggest GP seasons we've done, and
Right.
4, which is what it's at right now, is 4 GPs is on the lower if not lowest end. So we'll wait and see. But I assume they're just.
I'm assuming you're not counting Canada as
No. I'm talking about America specifically, the real country.
in the U.S.
Yeah, the U.S. Usually has 6, right?
6 or 7. I don't know.
6 or 7. So I'd assume they're just trickling, like how we had the first announcement, and then we have this announcement. I assume there's one more, so maybe it's 3 parts, and we'll wait for
like
the final
not just that, but there's also a really big gap because you have February, which is the Vegas one, and then not until May for the one in Mexico.
Yeah.
There could be
Which
some
is
spring.
also nice that we actually got, for at least one of the those GPs, we got some heads up, which is rare.
Yeah, the one thing I was wanting from this whole GP announcement that I didn't want to happen. I didn't want the here it is, it's in a month and a half thing to happen. To see that these are out like in May and all that stuff, like that's pretty ideal. Like that's actually perfect planning for anybody who wants to go to one of these, as long as like dates don't change or location doesn't change. It's happened in the past.
It's happened It's happened way more than you would think it would.
Yeah, which does kind of screw some people over for being able to attend, but I'm sure this will be solid.
Yeah, especially since Games and Geek is running 2 of those. I'd assume those we don't even have to worry about. And the other one in Dallas, I don't know, but Dallas usually is pretty solid, so I'd assume that one we don't have to worry about as well.
Yeah, on the ones that the Games and Geek are running are the ones that actually are running for the cash pricing as well.
Yeah, so I would assume the cash pricing is being provided by Games and Geek specifically, not by Force of Will, which would make sense why Dallas does not have cash pricing.
I think not necessarily provided by, but managed by. Since those are the 2 that they're going to manage, they can actually manage the money that's coming in and how to cash it out for pricing. Yeah. Because it's still a $60 entry, so that's the cash pricing. So that's not being provided by Games and Geek; it's being managed by Games and Geek. So with the $60 entry fee, and you calculate out how many people are going to be there. That's what's covering that. Is it 3,000 in total, right?
The point again is that's not the base standard that Force of Will is pushing out for these. It's something that Games and Geek is doing. That is not like a guarantee of the GPs in general. It's just
right, which is it's just the 2 that they're running. It'd be cool to see them kind of work it out in some of the other ones, because that'd be really awesome pricing just for really helping like pump the game back up and get players back in again.
Yeah. Or it doesn't even have to be cash pricing. I like I've said before, just product would be cheaper for most people involved, and I would not be opposed to just getting a bunch of product. Not that I would be in top 8 or anything, but as a general thing.
Well, there is additional pricing that we can kind of go over now. Okay, so first of all, it's interesting that each of the events, it's going to be plated lenniths, which I would have thought like maybe Machina could have been there, or whatever else is like the buy a box promo. I'm assuming that's kind of what this is following in. It's just interesting that they're all just lennith across the board.
Yeah, that's kind of interesting. I'm wondering if they just mass produce a bunch of lennith, because obviously you save money if you mass produce one single thing, and that's just what all the GPs will be. Period. We won't get any other rulers, which is a little disappointing. But it might, and it also devalue that as a prize card because every GP has it, so like there's more of it in circulation. But at least it's something.
Maybe it's because like Lennith is their like the only non-Seven Kings card that like.
I feel like Lennith is also like the least played out of the 2 rulers too.
Yeah, I know, but I'm saying like lore-wise, like she could be like a special type of ruler. More important rules than the other.
And I feel like the metal cards will hold value, but the gold printed cards will be the one that's like not as high as it could have been.
Well, I mean, they'll have value. Like I'm saying, it'll still be high value, but it's going to be lower than what we've seen in the past. But yeah, the gold Ubers. We've already seen several gold Ubers tank down pretty far, depending on the popularity of the ruler and distribution and stuff like that. But I'll be curious to see what happens here.
All right, so moving on to the more the pricing is that we're actually getting reprints of the DBV SRs, a handful of them. We're getting 5 of them printed as Uber rares, pretty much. They're black and white cards.
With the color splashed in.
Joe, you seen that yet? We posted in chat.
You talked about it. I don't think I saw any of the actual like pictures of them.
Okay.
But it sounded really cool. Oscar was like incredibly hyped. He was like,
"Oh yeah, because look how cool they look!" Like I thought that was awesome that they're throwing those in there, and like we needed those. Like I would like, we're going to Dallas. I'm trying to think like what I would do. I was like sitting there thinking, I was like, man, if I could just like find like 3 randos off the street, be like, hey, here's $30, go register for that tournament, and just give me those promos. Like, I'd totally do that just to get a place out of these cards.
Well, it's probably cheaper for you at the event just to trade for or pay for them in person. Like, hey, here's your $30 entry fee. Can I get just those promos, not the other entry promo? Because there is a normal Levitine or whatever entry promo and stuff like that. You get to keep that. Just here's $30 for those ones. I'm sure plenty of people will be willing to do that.
Yeah, I don't understand what you're saying, but yeah, we have both regalias and all.
That was so straightforward. Oh my god!
You get all 5 of those cards.
I don't know, Colin.
I literally was like, hey, instead of doing this complicated thing of finding random homeless people or whatever and paying them $30 to register at this tournament, what if you just gave someone at the tournament $30 for their cards? And I was just like, that don't compute.
Well, because they probably wouldn't sell them. They'd probably be like, nah, sell them at like $20 each. And I'm like,
no, they're not going to go for that. I can guarantee you right now, they're going to go for what would average out to be $30 for the play set of them, or for that set of them.
I don't know, man.
Yep.
Yeah,
no.
I'm
calling it right now. By the time we get to Dallas, by the time Dallas rolls around, 100%. I'm calling it right now.
No, by the time Dallas happens, only one event happened before it. So if I
no, 2 events would have happened before it.
Which ones?
Vegas and
Vegas isn't getting those prizes.
Well, yeah, but you're wrong by saying one event would happen before it.
One event including pricing. See, he's backing out.
Backtracking so hard. He's like,
shit. I thought there was more. It's so far away.
Anyways, I'm 100% confident that they will average out to what would that average out to? $4 a piece. 100%.
Bullshit.
Yeah, I copy us on it too because
how did a rare card go for be less expensive than?
Wait, how many cards are there?
5.
Oh yeah, $6 a piece. Yeah, 100%.
See, the reason why I say no to that is because looking at previous years, we had excessive amount of GPs, and there's only 2 promos available, and they're handed out at all the GPs. It's like those maintained a $17 to $23 range. 8 GPs in, like those never fell down.
And these are like really like some of the best.
And these are better than the ones that. Yeah, this is like the best cards we've ever gotten at a GP, like as a promo like this. Like
Alice, Zeus, Alice. You got Loki,
Kaguya,
Kaguya.
I would disagree with that point because I still prefer, rather than gain a variation of card, I still prefer alternate art to it. Because I really like, especially GPs, I feel like get some of the coolest alternate art for their cards. And so like I still would prefer that if this was a set of 5 alt arts of those DBV promos, I would prefer that. But the Uber is a really cool idea. It's much better than like say like the rainbow stuff they did for those and everything like that. I think doing Uber versions of these cards, people have been asking for Uber versions of Resonators again ever since we got the Prisha one a while back. And they never did them, so I'm glad that they're bringing that back. Though that's cool. But
I would also prefer alt arts over just this really cool stylized look to it. Like I would too, but like this was caught me by surprise when I saw them. And I was like, whoa,
yeah.
Well, cool.
Awesome. I'd messaged people who have been like, who went? We'll get into some of their stuff. But I was like, did someone like go and like give good advice and they took good advice at Force of Will? Because I feel like this is for me personally, this is one of the first like decisions that I fully am happy about that the new company has done, which is what they've done with these new GPs that are announced. And I'm curious if it was them that did it or someone else that worked through them.
Well, it's probably Svetlana working through them trying to make all this happen.
This came completely out of left field. Well, we'll get into why. That could be, but I'm curious about some stuff. But continue going through it before I get into some stuff.
All right, I'll keep going here. I forget where we were. The reason why we're at this point now because we've just been talking about this. But people who are seeing Vegas as kind of being gypped or ripped off or whatever you want to refer to it as, like not being as rewarded as these other events is like it probably was something that. Okay, first of all,
Well,
The Uber
pause
promos?
real quick.
Mm-hmm.
A couple things. One, I don't think you fully mentioned, but those Uber promos we've been talking about are the entry theme. So all you have to do is enter, and you get those plus the entry promo, which is the regular theme, and all that other stuff, which I thought was crazy. Because that's something I saw and I would have assumed was a top 8 thing. But
So
before you get into Las Vegas, that was the thing I was going to wait to talk about, because we should go over all the pricing and then backtrack to what Las Vegas is.
One more thing about your pricing on these cards going down is the reason why I think it won't is because people need these. People aren't going to grab them and start like, oh, I don't need any of these. I'm going to sell them all off, which would help drop the price down. Like me getting these, I'm not selling any of them. I'll go to a second event so I get another set of them so I can make sure to keep them.
Some of them will be higher.
A lot of people like that.
I should say some of them will be higher, but I don't think they'll be higher across the board.
They won't all be even. There will be some that are way more than the other ones, but they're not going to. I don't think anything will be under $17 on any of these.
No, I 100% disagree with that. We'll wait and see. We'll talk about this after the Dallas GP.
Oscar,
we'll come back.
I'm with you.
Yeah.
Well, Joy has no stake in this fight out here.
So pricing, and which another cool part.
Actually,
was,
Oscar, here's her.
Hold on. What?
At the Dallas GP, before we move on to at the Dallas GP, how about this? Whoever is correct on the pricing will have to give the other person those promos.
I was just thinking about that.
Which is hilarious because if he's right, he's not getting anything out of it. But if I'm right, I'm like banking on some cards here.
What do you mean I'm not getting anything out of it?
Well, because if you're right and they're like $2 a card, I'm like, yeah, here you go, Colin. I'll just go buy a playset online. I don't care. But if I'm right, you're handing me over $25 cards. Like,
well, yeah, I like pretty much lose in either scenario, but it's it's all about the integrity, Oscar. All right, continue.
I was going to comment real quick as when I first saw them, because I was used to seeing a lot of the Argent Saga announcements, is like, here's 5 cards that you get go into an event, but you're going to get one at random in a pack. I was really happy to see that you're just here. You're getting it. This is all 5 or 6, 7 of these cards. They're yours, which I thought was really neat. I was like, that's an awesome part.
Which it depends on your preference. I think I like both methods as long as the cards are not new cards. As long as they're just promos of cards you can already get. I pretty much am indifferent on whichever method you use because I don't care as much. But if it's a new card, like if Force was like, and here's this really cool card that, I don't know, is locked behind 3 boxes or something, then that's where I start to be like, whoa.
Another thing on the Regalia being alt art cards, I don't agree with that. Like technically, it's an alternate version of the artwork, but a lot of these, it's not enough. It's like if I want to see alt art cards, I want to see like the way we've had previous years.
Why didn't they do this Uber version to the Regalia, Oscar? That
would have been really cool. Yeah, that would have been awesome. But like I said, I think what happened was it was structured. The GP for Vegas was announced, but then there was a bigger structure that like they were announcing like, oh, we're gonna have this, but these cards won't be ready till like May. And that's why those are the first events that are having that price. Those prices.
That could explain why there's a big gap between February and May, but
right.
Continue with
I'm sad that I won't be getting those.
That I would have been like I would have 100% just paid. Oh, I guess there's no paying for the entry fee, but if there was, I would have done that just and not even played.
Like it's a $50 entry fee to
get into the yeah.
I'm just saying.
It would be cool though to see like what they've done in the past, where it's like if you attended it, then they'll mail you out the promos or something like that. Which would be cool.
Well, continue with the pricing. Yeah.
Go to the pricing. We had Minnesota, which has cash pricing in it, $60 entry. You get all these promos. On top of that, I'm assuming this part is the part that's provided by Games and Geek. Is you get 2 packs of Alex Origins 1 and 2 packs of Alex Origins 2. Which I guess depending on the date of when, and it's May 3rd, so it's the beginning of May. So like the 3rd set wouldn't have released yet. And additional promo card, which doesn't show a picture of it. It's just a back. So I'm curious what that means, what that is. Maybe it's like, it's Maribel Type 0 or something. I don't know.
Oh, yeah, it could be something they're working on.
Like it's just placeholders type thing. And then you have Collinsville, again, run by Games and Geek, same pricing as I just mentioned before. And then we get to Dallas. So Dallas is the first of the GPs not, I guess, run directly by Games and Geek. I'm sure they won't be there. Or who's running? I'm really curious who's running these. But this one is back to being a $25 entry. You get all those 7 promos, as we mentioned before. And then Lenneth is the prizes. Toronto, same thing. Montreal, same thing. So that's your prizing. Each of these, going from May onwards, is going to have first place gets a sponsored, fully sponsored.
Yeah, I was going to say you're skipping the big thing. And it is fully paid flight and hotel,
which is cool. So those are back.
Worlds.
So Colin, where are you standing on this? Also, I'm just realizing that the Canada ones were $30 entry fees.
Well, is it 30 Canadian dollars?
I guess it's a good point. Also, one of them is an event, so you just buy the badge for entry.
Otherwise known as fake dollars, but
wow.
I thought the currency was just syrup or something, but
so I just want to see if you had comments on this before I point something out that I noticed on these dates that I thought was interesting.
A couple things. One, the biggest thing that sucks is everyone who's in wasn't sure what was going on with GP, so they're like, all right, Las Vegas, woo! Everyone's like pushing everyone, like, let's show we're doing stuff. Everyone go to Las Vegas, and there's 45 people pre-registered, which is pretty strong showing for where Force of Will is currently and stuff like that. And then all those people are like, oh wait, I would have totally waited to go to one of those other ones if I had known that they were going to do, whether it be the cash pricing or the paid invite or the nice promos. Any of those, because this one, there's technically no entry fee, but you're, like Joey mentioned, you're paying $50 to go in, and I'm sure there's people who maybe don't like expos and stuff like that, so they're literally just paying $50 to not get as good pricing anymore. So that sucks that this was announced, and we didn't even get a hint that these other ones were going to happen or what the pricing was. It would have been nice to get a heads up for some of the, I personally would still have gone to Las Vegas because of being able to hang out with Joey and stuff like that. So it's worth it for me, but it does feel like people going to Las Vegas are getting shafted pretty hard. Because, like you mentioned, the cards and stuff, that totally makes sense if they're like, hey, we can't do these promos. We're not even going to mail them out. It's too complicated. But what's the reasoning behind not doing the paid invite like the other ones and stuff? So that just feels, it kind of sucks a little bit for Las Vegas goers to me.
On the other hand, I'll just jump in here and be like, I've never been to Vegas. So I'm pretty fucking excited to go to Vegas.
As a separate note.
I'm talking go to into the casino and stuff. And
you and me are excited. I'm talking about people who get one GP a season that they set money aside for.
I know. I'm just saying, as a devil's advocate, if I go to Collinsville or Dallas, it's like, Dallas.
I'm super excited. Like you've heard me. I'm excited to meet the voice actress for Motoko and possibly meet one of my favorite voice actors. I'm blanking on his name now and stuff like that, and I like conventions in general, so I'm gonna have a good time. But
I don't know if that influences their decision, or if that could have been something that a reason why they might have had to have done it this way. But who knows? I am definitely sad that on the Force Will side, I won't get any of the promos and stuff.
Or at least the promos would have been super cool to walk away with something physical for all of us people who aren't good at the game and aren't going to get top 8 and stuff. But if they can't do the paid invite, promos would have been super cool to have those Resonator promos. Come back and show Oscar
yeah. I was jealous when he went to the Games and Geek one in Minnesota last year. I was like, man, he left and came with all these cool promos.
That was a lot of fun, yeah. But that was the thing about Las Vegas I wanted to mention. Was you're saying something about Vegas also, Oscar, before I interrupted you?
I don't remember.
But
I mean, were you done? Because I had something I wanted to talk about, on the dates. I know it's
well, there's multiple things I want to talk about, but we could go back and forth. It's nothing specific. Go ahead, Oscar.
No, just we first got the first one, which was Vegas, and it was February 22nd, which was Saturday.
Yeah.
I guess I was under the impression that it was going to be a 2-day event, but they just said which weekend it was. I'm guessing they were going to put everything in one day, though.
Wait, for Vegas?
Yeah.
Oh, that's not the impression I got. Okay.
I say that because we have the rest of the GP dates, and only 2 of them, when the ones run by Games of Geek, show that they're on 2 days. All the other ones show 1 day.
Which I actually would prefer Vegas to be 1 day, just because we're in Vegas and we're at a convention. So as much as I love Force of Will, I'd like an extra day to do other stuff. But
I mean, let's say you want to go to the event, and you looked at this, and you've never been to a GP before, and you go, February 22nd, Saturday. Okay. It's 1 day. Let me just go buy my pass for Saturday. Boop, that was cheap, not bad. Cool, I'm set. And to go and make top 8 and to find out, we're gonna have a day 2. It's like I don't have a pass for tomorrow. It's like it makes sense now that it's a 1 day event, and that all the other events except for the Games and Geeks ones are all 1 day events, which is what it looks like. And because you look out, like I said, scroll through the GP dates on the website, and Games and Geeks ones are only ones say May 2nd and 3rd, and if you go to Dallas, it just says July 18th only, which is a Saturday.
So basically, hopefully that maybe it's just a preemptive thing, and they're waiting to see what pre-registration looks like before they add another date. But hopefully that's not locked in, because it tells us two things. One, it feels weird because then that's them basically expecting not to have enough people for 2 days. But two, if they get enough people that would warrant 2 days, but they're only locked in for 1 day, that's a long day that's about to happen.
Yeah.
A lot of people are not going to be happy.
Yeah, I was about to say that. Like that sounds like playing in games until like midnight or something kind of day.
And past midnight even. Yeah, that depending on the attendance. But Games and Geek obviously would expect more people because of the cash pricing, I would assume. So they're pretty confident with 2 days, and plus they own their store, so it doesn't matter and stuff. But not that because they usually do top 8 inside the store itself in day 2, or at least that's what they did last time. So it makes sense for that. But that's interesting for Dallas as well, because I feel like Dallas usually has a higher attendance than other GPs, as long as they're not doing a sealed event. So yeah.
Yeah, and it's in the hotel, so like I feel like that's an important thing, that they're not waiting for pre-registrations. It's like the hotel needs to know ahead of time if it's going to be on a.
Oh, it's in a hotel.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, that's first off, that's cool. I actually prefer when events are inside of a hotel.
Oh yeah,
it makes life easy.
And walk downstairs is amazing. Yeah,
that was my favorite thing with Pokemon events. But that means they're 100% locked in. So that's interesting, because it shows maybe a lack of confidence on Force of Will's side, that if they're proven wrong, good for them, but bad for everyone attending, essentially, because that's going to be a long-ass day. And I will not want to commentate that, because I will get super tired. I'll be like sitting there commentating and nodding off, which has happened before. But that's interesting. That's an interesting thing. I'll be curious. Maybe it's also just a typo, like that someone's typing like the weekend of the 18th, which is what like colloquially we'll say sometimes.
Yeah. I was looking at seating for the room. It's a 200 seated room.
Okay.
It's a pretty big room.
Well, I guess the hotel might only have one room size, so interesting. But
no, they have different room sizes.
So, and I apologize also, my fan. I don't know why my fan on my computer is so loud today. It's having a hard time. But I should have had Joey stream this with his fancy new computer. Oh well. But
start streaming it right now, Colin. I hit the start stream button.
Anyways,
wait, no, I can't. I don't have to Discord.
So
it's. I'm interested to see where things go. I want to see some. Okay, I don't want to say I need to see more, but I like to see more dates like sprinkled throughout these big gaps. And because Worlds is in November, so like there's a big jump from July. Assuming you're going to U.S. only events, like Canada is technically in August. You have from July or August until November where Worlds is, and usually we've seen events like 1 month prior to the actual Worlds event. But like in other countries, like I think Italy is one who's had that before, or Germany.
But yes, that's an interesting point. So that's why I think they're maybe doing 3 phases. So we're on phase 2 and phase 3. Fill in that gap right there.
I want more GPs because I want more high-profile decks and to see the meta evolve and stuff.
Yeah, I think that's important to have like an event every month at least, or some average of that, so it's fun to track the meta and coincide with set releases to build up hype for set release and post-set release to make you go back and buy the previous sets, buy cards. Like, it works in the business side as well of why you want to do that. But one thing I want to mention, because this is a pet peeve after these were announced, was it's interesting. I find it kind of interesting that these were announced, and previously. So we've always had, up until the new company took over, we had paid invites to Worlds, and the new company took over, stripped them away completely for worldwide, and canceled GPs and all that stuff. That whole debacle happened. And people were like, it's understandable. Paid invites are expensive. It's fine. And now that the paid invites are back, they're like, wow, this company is the greatest thing ever. Oh, this is great. Because the company is doing the thing that this company had canceled. It's like someone like going and like setting a little bush on fire and then going and putting water out on it and putting it out, and everyone's like, "What? Did you see him put that fire out?" And it's like, well, they're the ones who canceled it in the first place. Like, I don't know. It's cool that they're bringing back. Like I said, I think this is one of the things that I'm super excited that they're doing. I actually really like all these decisions they did for these new GPs with the promos and paid invites. But the like weird thing of like these exact same people were like, it's paid invites, those are overrated, and now being like, woo, paid invites to the company that got rid of them is super weird to me. It's cool to be excited. It's cool to be excited, but the level of excitement and the level of praising of the company specifically is kind of weird.
Well, two things I see it as. One, they just could have not done it, but they did it. And then two is I think the one thing you said about people being like, we don't need them, it's just people's coping methods of like, something bad's happening. How do I cope with this in the best way I can? And that was it. I think that's all it is. And you're just kind of...
Well, yeah, I like consistency. So if it was like different people saying it, whatever. But when it's like, when it's similar, same people saying it, I'm like, well, and now it's just like, what? I don't even know, like, because people would get mad at us for like being upset at the company for taking away these paid invites. And they'll probably be happy at me being excited for the paid invites and stuff again. But, like, there's a sense of consistency there, I think, at least for me, in explaining it and all that. But it was just, like, a pet peeve to me of, like, no one, like, ever, like, super cared or praised when the previous owners, like, gave paid invites, like, out the wazoo and did all this great stuff for Worlds and all that stuff. And like it super excused this new company for a lot of the stuff they did. But now that they're reverting back to the old stuff, we should be, positive about it, but like not be like so over the top and congratulating the people that got rid of it in the first place. I don't know. It's just a pet peeve I want to mention real quick.
Yeah, it's an interesting pet peeve.
Well, it's
about it. I don't necessarily agree with it at all.
No, that's fine.
I'm not praising them either. I'm like, hey, this stuff's cool. I'm enjoying it.
I'm not. You're fine. I'm not talking about you specific. I'm talking about like some of the general stuff I've seen around town is like that. Like I said, I'm excited for the GPs. Like I just talked about how like this is super cool. They're doing stuff with those promo cards that the previous company never did, and it's a super smart idea of something to do. Give cards that were hard to get back into people's hands without like flooding it with LGS promos or like reprinting a box, which doesn't always work and stuff like that. Like it's a really smart idea. Like everything about it I think is really well done, with the exception of Las Vegas and how that happened. But I think measuredness is good, because like it's just like the criticism of like people criticize people who are critical of the company, but we'll probably ignore it when we're positive about it and stuff like that. But
yeah, I personally am curious, like what led to them starting this back up again. Like if it was like they did end up selling well enough that they had the like cash influx that they decided to push this stuff more, or if there's like
I think
reasons or.
I'd be curious
if I had to guess.
Oh yeah.
If I had to guess, initially what happened was you had takeover, and then like a shock of retract everything, let's see where we're at, let's figure this out. But the fact that people like Jeremy or Svetlana were pushing for more things to happen, it started to rain. I don't know if y'all can hear that. It's raining really hard.
That's awesome.
Helped really push to make things actually happen that are happening now. Like if it wasn't for some of these people who are pushing or even messaging or emailing the company, like I know people get the email all the time and want to ask what's happening. If it wasn't for those people, like maybe we wouldn't even be where we're at now with all these dates. But the seeing like all the people at Worlds and seeing that maybe there is still some demand for the product itself is what helps influence what's happening.
And that's one of the things that's important of like, hey, even if the company doesn't listen to us directly, odds are the company listens to someone else who listens to us. So it's important. That's one of the reasons I have the pet peeve. It's always important to point out with things that you might feel like being negatively impacting the game, such as retracting all those GP stuff. I felt like hurt the game when that happened, and it was important to voice that. And maybe whether it was through the company directly or through someone else to the company, they might have heard that message of like, okay, there's a reason these GPs are happening with paid invites, because it actually builds excitement of people wanting to go out and buy product and wanting to pay to go to a GP and attend Worlds, because it builds this huge atmosphere around the game. And I'd be curious also of like I feel like maybe Svetlana had something to do with it. If you did, let us know that if you're listening to this, Svetlana, and stuff like that. Because if someone could communicate that, not only the importance of the GPs, but how that also helps the company make money. Because I feel like it's basically like a really cheap form of a commercial. If you think about it, a commercial costs roughly $1,000 to $3,000 to make, not just to film it. Not including like paying to put it on places, and these GPs would probably be cheaper than a commercial, and get free advertising out there for the game. So all it needs is someone to communicate it to them, and so I'm sure someone did that.
Yeah, I feel like, and I don't have much, I guess not as much knowledge on video stuff as you guys do, but I feel like those numbers are kind of low. For filming a commercial.
The only knowledge I have is local commercials. I only know of local commercials, which costs, depending on what you want, it's a minimum of $1,000, can get up to $5,000. Like when you see those car commercials of like, I'm Jiffy from your local, but those are what cost $1 to $5. I don't have knowledge of like what real people do.
Yeah. But I've always been somebody who believed in like not hushing people who had a negative spin on things, because that's how you can get things to be fixed. Another
Look
example
at the Sonic movie.
I've used. Yeah, see, another thing I had was like in Pokemon, like the new game that came out, everybody was complaining about what was happening with the decks, and like who knows what was happening in the background. But now we're getting, 200-300 more Pokemon added into the game. It's like same thing for this. Like if a lot of people just didn't complain about those dates and all the things, maybe the people who are working to make it happen wouldn't have worked as hard as they did doing it now to make it actually happen, just to prove a point,
Yeah, and people might be against this because of where the game is at, but doing it, obviously I don't think this happened because of the short run of the sets, but stuff like not buying sets because you don't agree with it. I saw there's some people we know that did that for the, I don't know if it was the last set or if it was DBV, but stuff like that. If the company sees like, hey, we're expecting this and it was like at this, is that correlated with this? What if we change this? And they'll wait and see, and if the sales go up when they introduce these GPs, they'll be like, okay, there actually is a correlation. Yeah. People might be against that because the game is small and you don't want to do protests of not buying the product for a game that is having trouble with buying stuff. But it's definitely could be, with the shorter print runs, it's probably irrelevant. You could not buy any of this set and it's still going to sell out just because of the quantity. But those themes, there's a reason those themes exist, and being critical of themes when you see them come up, because not saying like us being critical had anything to do with it. I doubt the company likes us or watches us, but I'm talking about the Force Will Global Facebook. People have been pretty good at voicing their opinions there, and I'm sure that might have funneled there in some fashion.
And then
with people that are nicer than us,
how much we're like, criticizing, hate the game.
Well, no, that's why I wanted to point out, I don't think we had any effect on it at all, but I think other people who are better at communicating what we're trying to say might have.
And my point was like, is us complaining, other people complaining, gets into the right ears and into the right hands to go and fix it is what I was saying with my point as well.
Yeah,
which why I'm giving a thumbs up for this new stuff. Like I'm going to repeat it again because people. I like this new stuff. I still, which I'll get into in the mini podcast. I don't like some of the stuff with the new set coming out, but I like what they're doing with the GPs. I think that's important.
I know you're serious and genuine, but it felt super fake. Like, yeah, no, I'm really on board.
You see a little like gun barrel like.
All right.
But we're about at time.
Last note on the GPs itself is we will be in Dallas unless whatever in life happens that pulls one of us from it. We will be there. I want to go.
Well, if anyone's there, we're all going to go to Roundtable at some point while we're there. So let us know if you're coming in.
On Sunday when there's no top 8s, you'll go.
Well, Sunday for sure. I'll be going to Roundtable.
We'll go to Roundtable, we'll eat pizza, and then we'll go to the local game store, which is actually what it's called, in Dallas. With play for fun and before heading out. But we're going to try to make that one. These guys will be in Vegas. I can't make any other promises to any other events. I thought it would be cool to visit Collinsville again, but who knows if that can happen for me. But
well, for all of us, it costs money to fly, and so it's just a matter of if we can set aside money.
You don't want to take another 13-hour road trip again?
I'm good, man. I've had enough road trips for another. Like I did more road trips that year, that 2 year span that we did that. I took so many road trips for some reason. And
yeah, you did. I remember that.
Oh yeah, you took we
did the one in California. I did one here that was like it was like a 40-hour road trip or something. It was yeah. I'm good for a bit. I actually like road trips in general, but not that much. Like I drive 2 hours every day, so I like driving, but not that much.
I hate driving.
If there's I also love flying though. So if I have a chance, I prefer to fly. I actually really enjoy flying.
We'll see everybody next time.
Bye.
Yeah. Bye.